Alright YouTube, in a previous video I showed you how to double flare brake line. There's another flare it's pretty common to the European market, the Asian market as well, and maybe some GMs, but it's called a ISO flare, otherwise known as a bubble flare. I want to show you how to make those flares today. So what I have here is a standard double flare. That's what I showed in a previous video. Really common. This is the metric ISO flare, otherwise known as bubble flare. And we got a tool for that. I want to show you real quick. I see some people trying to use the first stage of a double flaring tool to make this ISO flare. And I don't know how well this will show up in the video, but dimensionally that's incorrect. So you want to use the appropriate tool for this flare. What I have here today is another kit from OTC. Slide it up. You can pause this for the directions. So this will be a pretty similar process as the last video. After you've trimmed your line with the appropriate tool, you want to deburr it. You can use a pocket knife, or if you have a reamer, that's great. I'm just using a tool from a milling machine to ream this inside out. On our tool, it doesn't appear to be side specific like what you would see on a double flaring tool. So I'm just going to chuck that up in the vise. Here's where things get a little different. You're going to want to insert your appropriate die. Depending on the size of the line, it goes from 3/16 to 10 millimeter. And you're just going to thread that in here. Now the kit comes with a wrench and a gauge. I'll show you how to use the gauge in a minute. You just use your wrench to snug that up. Alright, you're just going to stick your line up through, and to gauge how far the tubing sticks through, use the same wrench that you tightened up your die with. You see we're even there. I'm just going to snug that up now. You'll use the same tool. One of the things it suggests in the OTC set is to use a drop of brake fluid on this die. So I don't want to contaminate my brake fluid. I'm going to try to pour just a little bit on there. What that's going to do is just help lubricate the die as it spins to make the flare on the tubing. Where this differs from a double flare is everything with this set is done in one stage. So we're just going to tighten this up. There we go, we've stopped. You don't want to over torque it. I'm just going to wipe the residual brake fluid off there, and you can see we've got a pretty nice flare. And That's all there is to it. All right, we successfully made a bubble flare, or otherwise known as ISO flare. You can pick these tools up probably somewhere between $20 and $50. So I hope that helps someone out. Thanks a lot.